at this time, I would open the floor to nominations for chairman for calendar year 2020.
In business, it's very important to bring young people on, to train them, to see the continuation of the business. I think it's the same way, it should be the same way, and it is the same way in local government. With that said, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Matt Garten as our chairman for next year.
I'd like to second.
Nomination closed.
I have a motion on the floor to close nominations. Mr. Garten, I have a second for that. Ms. Cox, second closing nominations. We have a single nomination for chair. I'll ask for now ask for a motion to approve Mr. Garten's nomination for chair.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Shull, second by Mr. Griffith. Melissa.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Garten?
Yes.
Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Nicely?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Vanderstahl?
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Garten.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Thank you, John.
Turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to ask if there's any nominations for the vice chairman.
I'd like to nominate Steve Bennett.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Nomination by Ms. Vanderstahl and second by Ms. Cox. Motion to close the nomination.
So moved.
A second
Second.
by Ms. Cox. Take a vote.
Your roll call on the closure of the nominations, and then you'll entertain a motion for the nomination after they're closed. So motion on the floor now is to close nominations. Mr. Bennett, the sole name for vice chair.
Roll call on the closing of the nomination. Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Nicely?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Van Oersdahl?
Yes.
Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Now a motion to approve Mr. Bennett for the vice chair. We have a motion. Second?
Second?
Second by Mr. Shaw. Roll call. Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Nicely?
Yes.
Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Ms. Van Oersdahl?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Yes. No, we do that.
Did you vote?
I vote yes. That's what I was getting. He asked me a question. Yes. That passes Mr. Bennett, vice chair.